What is up, Kingdom students? Welcome back to Theology Thursday. My name, as you know, is Drew Reynolds. I'm your student pastor here at Kingdom Life Church. And Theology Thursday is a weekly discussion of the theological reasons for New Testament books. So last week we looked at Paul's letter to the Galatians. And today we're looking at another one of Paul's letters, this one to the church in Ephesus called Ephesians. And what's interesting about Ephesians is there's not a lot of agreement among scholars as to why this particular letter was written. But Tim Mackey, who's a wonderful teacher and leads a wonderful ministry called the Bible Project, I highly recommend their work. He says this about Ephesians. He says, Paul summarizes the gospel story and how it should reshape every part of our story. I'll read that again for you. Paul summarizes the gospel story and how it should reshape every part of our story. And here's how Paul does this. In the first 3 chapters of Ephesians, Paul lays out the gospel. And I'm maybe a little biased because I love Ephesians, but in Ephesians, some of the most beautiful writings about the gospel can be found in the first 3 chapters. And then in the last 3 chapters, Paul gives an application of those gospel truths. He basically says, hey, here's how you should live at your church, at your workplace, in your homes, in light of the gospel that I just talked about. So Ephesians as a whole, and really the last 3 chapters are just full of application. So there's so many things we could say in terms of application. But I want to read from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1. I love this so much. And you were dead in your trespasses and sins. Skipping down to verse 4. So we're dead, right? We're dead in our trespasses and sins. There's nothing we can do. But God, being rich in mercy because of the great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised up with him and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. Verse 8, skipping down. For by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not your own doing, but it is a gift from God. Not a result of works, so that no one may boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. So my question for you, as you think about what we just read, is do you have a story like this? Do you have a story in which you were once dead in your trespasses and sins, and then were made alive by God through Christ? Do you have that story? And if you don't, I want you to know that salvation is available to you in Christ Jesus. It is faith, grace through faith, that you are saved. I encourage you, if you do not have a story like this, put your faith, hope, trust in Jesus today. Don't delay, don't delay. Put your trust in Jesus today. I hope this has been helpful and encouraging to you on this fine Thursday. I hope you have a great rest of your week, Kingdom students, and we'll see you Sunday night.